YouTube? What's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington Commanders video. And in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be talking about a plethora of topics. We got Ron Rivera meeting with a specific offensive coordinator candidate. We got four prospects that I think the Washington Commanders should be interested in and place close attention to when they are at the Senior Bowl. And then we have some sad news talking about a Washington legend that. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So let's start it off by talking about the sad news. Let's go ahead and get that out the way first. So there was some news that came out today, according to Bleacher Report, that Washington legend Bobby Beathard passed away today at the age of 86 due to complications with his Alzheimer. Now, let me go ahead and pull up the actual tweet or actual article so I don't misquote anything, and I can get it out to you guys properly. So let me go ahead and try to find this because I just had it pulled up here. Let's go ahead, and here we go right here. So it says this: says four-time Super Bowl winning executive Bobby Beathard has died. He was 86 years old. Beathard was the director of player personnel for two of the NFL championships by Miami in 1970, and served as a general manager for two more by Washington in the 80s. He also scouted for Kansas City when the Chiefs Uh, won the AFL and made the Super Bowl in the 1960s, and was the GM with the San Diego Chargers when the Chargers got there in the 90s. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2018. So, as a spokesman for the Washington Commanders said, Beathard's family told the team he died Monday at his home in Tennessee. And again, it says the quote of here: former Washington Redskins general manager Bobby Beathard passed with his Hall of Fame trophy during the halftime of the NFL game between Houston Texans and the Washington Redskins in 2018. So that they were just talking about the picture. So yeah, they were basically saying that the cause of his death was complications due to his Alzheimer's, I believe so. So man, it definitely sucks. But prayers out to Bobby Beathard's family, and may he rest in peace. He lived a long, wonderful life being a GM for the Washington Redskins. Let me know if you guys remember any of his time here in Washington. How was he as a person, as a general manager? Let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, please put your prayer emojis down below for Hall of Famer Bobby Beathard. And now let's move on to another topic. So, Ron Rivera, his offensive coordinator search continues. I think it's going to be wrapping up here shortly. I think after the Super Bowl is when we'll know, probably like a couple of days after, maybe a week, because there's still one person that they are interested in getting, and that one of those people are participating in the Super Bowl. That is being Eric Bieniemy. However, one of the coaches that we were interested in, we finally got to have their interview because their season wrapped up. That was Antony Lynn. Ron Rivera personally drove to the Bay Area from where he was in California. I forgot what they say he was, but he drove from that to the Bay Area to go meet up with Antony Lynn and have the interview with them and talk to him. So he's personally conducting this interview. I'm pretty sure he's done that with all, but he went out his way to go see him, which makes me believe he really wants Antony Lynn. And that, like I said, when I was going over the video, that comes to no shock because he is a person that does exactly what Ron Rivera wants. A guy that's going to run the ball, primarily. A guy that's going to control the clock. A guy that played the running back position. So he, again, is predicated on running the ball. And he's not my favorite. Okay, he's not my favorite guy, but this is one of the guys, like I keep trying to tell y'all, this is one of the guys that we're going to end up with. Okay, a guy that is going to want to do what Ron Rivera wants to do. That's old school, okay? That is Antony Lynn, and it makes it even more obvious because he played the running back position in the NFL. Okay, now like I was telling y'all when I made the video on Antony Lynn, a lot of Chargers people were saying this guy lacks situational awareness and he fails to get his team prepared. Now again, I was saying it could be different now that he's not a head coach. He could be a much better offensive coordinator, and that is what typically guys are. They're much better positional coaches than they are not positional coaches, but much better coordinators than they are head coaches because they don't have to worry about so much. So the lack of situational awareness, the lack of getting your team prepared could definitely be because of all of the things he had to deal with being a head coach. However, more of the lack of preparing your players and less of situational awareness because situational awareness doesn't matter what kind of coach you are. If you lack that, you lack that. And that was my biggest problem because we just got rid of a guy that my biggest bone to pick with him was his lack of situational awareness. Okay, the guy he was lost, man. He didn't know when it was the right time to call what, and we just got out of that relationship with Scott Turner. So it doesn't make sense to want to do it again with this guy. Now, again, like I said, man, it could be that he was just a head coach, so the lack of his situation awareness was just so bad because of his head coaching gig, and he could be a much better offensive coordinator and situation awareness can be much better as an offensive coordinator. I highly doubt it. I think when a coach is a coach, his ways doesn't change. And when he was in Buffalo in 2016, that offense on the ground was really good with Tyrod Taylor having, I believe, like 580 rushing yards. LaShawn McCoy had over 1,000 yards, one of his best seasons in his career. So I mean, he gets the best. He gets the best out of his running game. Okay, again, I would expect that from being a running first kind of offensive coordinator. Now, here's the thing: if we go get a guy like Antony Lynn, then that means we need to upgrade this offensive line badly. So that means, and in the first 2 rounds, we must be drafting a guard. Okay, because if we want to go run first, which I disagree with, I don't want, but if we're going to do that and we want to be successful at it, we need to upgrade this offensive line. Okay, so we need to go ahead and probably draft a guard in the first 2 rounds. Um, I would prefer a tackle, if anything. But if we're gonna do this, we need a guard because we need athletic guards. That's gonna be able to pull and go outside on runs and open up holes and stuff like that. And we need tackles that are gonna be able to pull. So if we go with an Antony Lynn kind of guy, okay, I would not be surprised if we went heavy offensive line because again, we need to rebuild this offensive line. All right, Charles Leno. I know my man Protect Sports. He wants him gone. He think he's trash. I think we can upgrade over him. I think though, you're just creating another hole that doesn't need to be created at this moment. Obviously, we know we could do better than Charles Leno. But right now, at this current moment, we have other needs on the offensive line that needs to be addressed. So I think you should probably hang on one more year with Leno and address the two guard positions. You can survive with Cosme and C. Luke. They're pretty stagnant. But we really need to focus on that guard position. I know, again, a lot of y'all want to talk about the center, Chase Roulier and Tyler Larson. I think we need to bring back Tyler Larson. I know he did. I know he struggles staying healthy. However, when he is healthy, he's a good backup. When Chase Roulier is healthy, he's one of the better centers in football. So I think we need to move on. We need to keep these guys. There's no point in moving on from of these guys that we know can contribute when healthy. When you have other holes. Now let's say we had the guard position figured out. Let's say we had the tackle position figured out. Okay, then you could take a risk on getting a new center, or if we had the guard position taken figured out, the two guard position figured out, then you could take a risk on upgrading the tackle and get rid of Charles Leno. But right now, when you have too many holes to fix, you don't want to you don't want to create another one. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So that's where I stand on that with the Antony Lynn situation. He's not my favorite, but given that Ron Rivera is meeting with this guy, going to meet with this guy, like it's not like he's coming to DC, coming to VA, and he's coming out here for an interview where he's going to him. So that makes me think Ron Rivera is really intrigued with Antony Lynn, and that is probably one of the guys that we're going to end up with. Now, that's just my opinion. Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. The last topic that I want to talk about here is 4 prospects as according to Zach Selsby. 4 prospects that he believes the Washington Commanders should keep a close eye on. in the Senior Bowl that's coming up here. Let me go ahead and pull it up right quickly. There was a couple guys like Osiris from he was a guard from Florida. Everybody besides Ron Rivera is in Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl that's coming up here shortly. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. And I wouldn't be surprised if we take a tackle. In like I said in this draft. Now let me go ahead and try to find this thing. I just had it pulled up here, but it went away. So let me go ahead and try to find it here. Um, Four prospects that the Washington Commanders should be interested in. First one is Osiris Torrance from inside offensive lineman from Florida. Daniel Jeremiah's first mock draft of the offseason featured the Commanders taking Oregon. Um, oh, sorry about that. Reading the wrong one. It says the opinion expressed in the article did not reflect those of the team. Some of the best college prospects in the country are putting on the show in Mobile, Alabama in 2023. The first one is Osiris Torrance. Osiris Torrance was taken one pick later by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And while shoring up the defensive secondary is a priority for Washington this offseason, one could argue that getting some stability at the offensive line position is more important. Torrance, who spent 3 seasons in Louisiana before transferring back to Florida, has much of what Rivera is looking for in his player. He has been a starter since his freshman year in 2019, and he has a physical presence in the run game at 6'5" and 347 pounds. He is a mammoth of a player who could be useful for Washington, especially with the desire to run the ball more often. Now you move over to the next player. It says Cody Mock, a tackle from North Dakota State. Cody Mock might have one of the most recognized faces in the Senior Bowl with his long red hair and toothless smile. He at least looks the part of an offensive lineman. But Mock backs up the appearance for being one of the better tackle prospects at the Senior Bowl this year. He spent 6 seasons with the Bisons after switching positions as a walk-on tight end and has excelled as a lateral movement as well as working his way up to the second level of defenders. His 90.9 overall PFF grade topped all tackles in FCS. Mock experienced a trait hint. We'll have to read that part. Then the next player you got Tariq Stevenson, a cornerback from Miami. Devin Witherspoon is considered by many to be one of the best prospects in the country, and if he was in Mobile, he would be a player to keep in mind. But the Illinois stud cornerback opted out of the Senior Bowl, so the Commander scouts will have to settle with talent at their disposal for the time being. That should not be a problem, though, because Tyree Stevenson is a quality defensive back in his own right. As a 4-year contributor for the Hurricanes, Stevenson finished his career with 115 tackles and 3 interceptions. Pick tonight might be impressive compared to others, but Stevenson stands out in press man situations. Take away from his performance in 2021 as an example, he allowed 5 catches on 21 targets and forced 5 incompletions with a passer rate of just 39.4 in man coverage. The main question in regards to Stevenson is whether he can fit in a scheme that runs more zone. Washington tends to run zone coverage more often. Still, if he is put in the right situation, he could be a quality depth piece. Now, here's my thing with that. If he is not a zone kind of guy, don't bring him here. Because we obviously seen what we did with William Jackson, where he was a man corner, and we took him and brought him into his own scheme, and he just couldn't fit. So if he's not a man guy, don't bring him here in Washington because we don't have the coaching staff that's going to coach him right clearly. And you've seen that with William Jackson. And the last guy, you got Andre Carter, linebacker from the Army. So pretty much these are 4 prospects that Zach Sozzi felt like we should look at while they're in Mobile. And I'm going to pay close attention to these guys because these are some good names. And not necessarily the names, but the positions. I think we definitely do need to upgrade in the early rounds of the draft. So I will be keeping an eye out for that. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. There you have it. We covered Antony, Lynn, Ron Rivera, going to meet him in person, and we covered the sad news of Bobby Beathard. And those are 4 prospects that the Washington Commanders should be interested in at the Senior Bowl. Let me know all that down below in the comment section. How you feeling on it? As always, it's me, boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Those are Washington Commanders. We're on over to 6,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. I'm out. Peace. Cross me one time, that's gonna get you popped.